When I was a little kid, America was going around the world spreading democracy. Some people may not have liked democracy, but they were going to have it anyway because America required to spread it. And it was such a powerful tool at an international scale that no country would speak against democracy. Even the most authoritarian states of the world, like North Korea, would still pay lip service to the democracy. They were like the Democratic People Republic of North Korea, the Democratic Republic of Congo, so on and so forth. So to go against democracy at the time was unthinkable. Now America isn't spreading democracy, it's spreading the climate change talks. So when China says that it's going to cancel talks with the US on climate change, it's actually a big deal. In other words, international diplomacy is very subtle and it's usually done through allusions and metaphors. And in this particular situation, China does seem to be very upset. What's interesting is that they also don't believe in climate change because if you genuinely think that the world is ending, then surely, even in a situation of conflict, you would still collaborate on this particular issue. Like, well, I mean, if the world is ending, I mean, it's going to affect us, it's going to affect everyone, so we still need to collaborate. But because China is saying, no, we don't care about climate change anymore, goes to show that they particularly do not believe in it, although they want to implement some of the policies because the solution to fix climate change is stronger government. It's a solution that throughout human history has been applied to any plight, real or imaginable. Like, what is the solution to fix racism? Stronger government. What is the solution to fight the COVID pandemic? Stronger government. What is the solution to achieve equality, equity, and stronger government? So this is why China, in my opinion, was even involved in talks about climate change. And they are applying a policy that Romania also likes to apply with the European Union, which is say what they say, but do what we do. So in other words, China was like, oh yes, climate change, horrible. Yes, we need to lower emissions. And can you guys start up the coal power plants over there? Like, can we get more coal? I gotta get more coal over there. Like, yeah, no, climate change, serious issue. Yeah, serious business. But this indeed is very concerning because I legitimately think there might be a conflict in the near future regarding Taiwan. It's kind of difficult to predict these things due to China's nature. I mean, since I was born, China has constantly threatened aggression over Taiwan. It's what they do. It's the way they do policy. But recently, due to China's GDP dropping, due to protests happening everywhere within the nation, they have this incentive, especially now due to the political circumstance with the conflict with Russia and Russia saying that they're going to help China. They do have a lot of impulse in order to back their threats. So I normally do not fear monger on this channel, but this is one of those times when I personally think that it wouldn't be surprising if in the next couple of months we see China trying to go into Taiwan. Now, Taiwan isn't a nation that's completely defenseless. It has a very strong air force. It has the capabilities of defending itself. But as I mentioned in previous videos, Taiwan is responsible for 90% of the chip manufacturing within the world. It is very close to Japan, so Japan would feel threatened if China would do an invasion there. Japan is a very close ally to the United States. It would spark a very dangerous conflict. I hope that my prediction is false. I hope that nothing bad is going to come with it. However, when I see that China is canceling talks on climate change with the United States, which basically means that they're now going to be ostracized from a lot of circles, that's pretty much why nations are quote-unquote persuaded to talk about climate change, because if you don't, you get ostracized from various treaties and circles, and it's very difficult to do diplomacy at the world stage. Again, it's kind of like back in the day being against democracy, which is why even authoritarian nations adopted the moniker of democracy, even though they clearly weren't. So China doing a big move like this shows to me that they are willing to commit to something. And again, hopefully they're not. But I don't see any better opportunity now than during the current administration, during the political upheaval that exists in the West, with a lot of protests over food and over farming, and the situation in Germany with low gas and whatnot. I do think they're going to try to take advantage of this. And yeah, it's going to be really bad. Because on one hand, for the US means China taking control of the world chip manufacturing. So now every time you have a computer chip, you buy it from China, they get to set the price, they get to decide who gets them, who doesn't. They can install spyware on it, and they can install backdoors and whatever. Or start a conflict with a nation that has a big chunk of the world's manufacturing, that has control over important supply routes. And there's no good answer. And this is all due to the West self-sabotaging and placing themselves into a vulnerable position. I would like to remind people that the West did win the Cold War. It was a time when there was no trade with communist nations. Like, there was no trade between the United States and Russia. There was no trade between the United States and China. But it's due to self-sabotage that most of the industry was moved to China. And this was also due to green policies that were like, not in my backyard. It's like, oh, well, we shouldn't pollute here, right? Like, we don't want to pollute in the United States. Okay, so they're polluting in China, and you're importing the stuff from China to the US. But you're still polluting at the end of the day. And then you have a lot of labor laws that were passed in the West regarding protection of workers' rights and minimum wage and all the way you need to handle the workers. So what companies did, it's like, okay, well, we're going to move into China. We can benefit from cheap labor over there because they don't have the same labor laws. They don't have minimum wage. So we use cheap labor over there. We produce the goods over there. Now we're not selling it into China. We're selling it into the US. So a lot of industry was moved over there. And now it's a very difficult situation. Like, what do? Do you allow Taiwan to be taken, and then you have Japan being under threat, and you have China controlling the chip manufacturing, and they're controlling the supply lines even more, that they're becoming even more dominant and more powerful and more rich? Or do you do something about it? And if you do something about it, you're going to experience a lot of hardship and a lot of economic pain. There is no good answer. And seeing this article, again, makes me very worried. But hopefully I may be wrong, and this is just a nothing burger. Like it has been over the past couple of decades. Whenever China said they're going to do something, they just put on a military parade. They do some live exercises, some drilling, and then nothing happens. So maybe it's that. We don't know. What I do know is that it would be better if I'm wrong. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.